Praise the Lord, saints and fellow brethren. This is Elder Adrian Heyman. And right now we're going to be going in another of our series of lessons on signs of the times. And the direction that this is going is not just other things that Jesus mentions as signs of the times, but those things which can actually lead to a point where the events of Revelation not only are possible, but are probable. In fact, not even probable, but inevitable. That's the good. Inevitable. So, beginning with that, let's deal with essentially the idea of man's knowledge. There is it's essentially, in the book of Daniel, the last chapter of it, it begins to tell about essentially the period of time that the Antichrist, the actual Antichrist, will come upon this earth and how bad it will be. But it also tells you about a judgment that will take place that will involve everyone. Now, it may be spread over time, but the saved will be judged or sentenced or given with their rewards. That's at the Bema seat. And the unsaved will be judged at the great white throne. Then it begins to say that the book that Daniel has written, the prophecies that are contained therein, at some time they would be revealed, but for his particular time, the Lord told him to seal the book, to seal it. It means to close it. It means to not open it so people could understand it. And so the book of Daniel became a mystery for quite some time, but it'll be open in the end. And it says about the time that it's open, that people will run to and fro, and knowledge will be increased. I think some time ago I had spoken about this, especially in the study that we did on the book of Daniel. But this is sort of a look into that particular aspect of what Daniel said, or what Daniel had written down, that knowledge shall be increased. Doesn't necessarily say wisdom, because wisdom is the appropriate use of knowledge. Wisdom can even operate when you have little knowledge, but you use the knowledge that you have appropriately. The key is we have gained so much knowledge in this world. We know the different flight patterns of birds. We understand the habits of various species of animals. We understand how to make various metals. We understand how to build various things. We understand how to build bridges and these huge edifices, buildings, and so on. We understand even how to travel overseas and over the airways and even into space. We understand what other people didn't know, that this earth is not flat, but this earth is round and is one of a number of planets in a solar system that is essentially a part of a huge conglomerate of stars called the Milky Way, which essentially is one in a million or trillion, whatever galaxies in what is known as the universe. We understand all this. We even understand that man is greedy, and we base our study of business transactions called economics upon that. And it's actually quite correct. Capitalism is based upon greed. And as we go through our daily, what do you call it, transactions, the ones who buy want to get the most for their money, and the ones who sell want to gather the most for what they're selling. And again, you have to, and there are forces at play with that. Some in your control. If you're bartering something, if you are, let's say, bargaining, I want it for this price. Well, no, it's really this. Well, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. And so then you bargain for a particular amount that you can both agree upon. But that means that you're still searching for the best possible deal on one side and to get the most profit for your product on the other side. That's actually a science. It's economics. However, that does not mean that man can't override that wisdom. Override that knowledge to apply it to his own selfish purposes, even for his destruction. For all the things that we have invented over the years, because we could do it, the Lord has given us the ability to make things, to create things. We're in God's image, so we can create. And also in his image, we've been able to attain knowledge, to get more knowledge. And remember, our ancestor Adam did eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Understand what good is, understand what evil is. Doesn't mean that you'll do what the right thing is, but you understand what it's supposed to be about. But just think, your children know more things than you do. And it's not that you're dumb. It's not that you're ignorant. It's that the amount of information that's been gathered in the past 10, 15, 20 years is much more than what we could even have ever thought of. I'll give you a great example. I'm holding this phone right now. Now, this phone essentially is a miniature computer, which would be extremely powerful, more powerful than the computers, the computers that the government used 20 years ago. This phone is more powerful than them. But this is only a phone. There are computers much more powerful than this, which is why we have to now create data centers to store all of this knowledge. And they're huge buildings, which essentially involve extracting lots of energy in order to keep those machines, those computers that store all this knowledge, to keep them cool so they don't lose the knowledge by melting down, by exploding, by becoming useless. We are definitely in the age of knowledge, and knowledge is traded. People think that essentially the only trade that goes on is goods, and it's goods. But there's also trade in knowledge. There's trades in services between nations. And the U.S. has gotten on that particular track. We don't make as many things as we used to. That's gone to other countries now. Made in Japan, made in Thailand, made in China, made in Vietnam, because the prices there are lower to make them. So we would rather ship out manufacturing products to nations that don't pay as much to their people, so then we can be able to enjoy them for a lower price. But in the meantime, we are concentrating on getting all this knowledge. And the strange thing is, we get all this knowledge, but then we elect people, we appoint people who don't have any knowledge. So it ends up being wasted. And people get confused, and they get hurt and angry, and they get scared, full of anxiety. Because with all their knowledge, they see things that are about to happen. I'll give you a great example. Vaccines. During the years that we have been studying vaccines and studying how to prevent diseases from even happening, prevent them from taking place. And so we vaccinate our children, vaccinate ourselves. But when COVID-19 hit, there were so many people that rose up against it. Why do we need to have masks? Why do we need to create a vaccine? And then we get the story that vaccines create autism. But there's always some excuse for not taking something that is going to help lives. Recently, there was a measles outbreak. There were children that died that wouldn't have died if they had taken the measles vaccine. That's how much we know. That's knowledge. Wisdom is applying that knowledge to be able to help someone. There was no wisdom applied to that. Which also means that if we go down this road, then I can very much see what takes place in Revelation chapter number 6 with the opening of the third seal. No, opening of the fourth seal, where it talks about man will be killed, a fourth of the world's population will be killed with death. Now, that's not an oxymoron. That's not a mistake by the Bible. The word translated at that particular point, death, actually means pestilence. That means epidemics. That means pandemics. We are becoming more and more susceptible to pandemics. And with the cut of the funding in various nations to provide medicine to hold off the pandemics, it is a certainty that at some time in the near future, I'm not trying to scare you, but it is just true based upon our refusal to apply our knowledge to where it's needed. We thought we had overcome measles. We thought we had overcome smallpox. I thought we had overcome all these things. But it's only because of diligence in governments to apply the knowledge that science had given them to the people at large. We're losing that. That's one way where knowledge has been increased, but we don't use it. Remember also about the scare about the ozone layer? A lot of it was because they were made fluorocarbons that helped in refrigeration, kept our foods cold, kept it from spoiling because of heat and so on. The problem with that is that we didn't understand the side effects. That really, to be honest, is what people are scared of even now. The vaccines. Side effects. You have to tell people what the side effects are. And the thing is that people feel that if you have a vaccine, there is 100% blockage of, no, it's not. For any one person, it's not 100% blockage of any disease. It reduces the chance that you will get the disease as well as the severity of what you get with the disease. That's the key. That's the key.
This is my question.
Let me sit here. But all this deals with knowledge. All of this deals with knowledge. And if the knowledge that we have cannot be applied, then it becomes useless. There's many other examples of this, but just letting you know that the explosion of knowledge and data that we are experiencing in this age is a sign. It's a sign that, number one, these are the last days. And number two, someone will use this knowledge to misuse this knowledge. And I'll give you only one guess as to who that person will be. God bless you and may he keep you. In Jesus' name.